Welcome back to Politics Now.
The Republican field against Congressman Stephen Horsford is starting to fill out. The latest to jump into the race is Lisa Song Sutton. She's a former Miss Nevada United States. She owns Sin City Cupcakes and the clothing store Liquid and Lace, along with having a law degree from the University of Miami. She talked with me about why she's running for office. Tell us why Congress and why now?
Politics was never in the plan for me, but after seeing how much need was in the community and hearing from voters, from constituents that they didn't feel like they were being served by the current representative, I felt like that I had to step up.
Did your experience as a businesswoman contribute to that? Did you have experiences in that role that you said something's, interacting with government, that, something's wrong here, I want to fix this?
Absolutely. As a small business owner here in Nevada, one of the reasons why I started a business here is because Nevada is so business friendly. And seeing the regulations that have come down from the state, from federal, it's crushing to small businesses, and that's something that we've experienced on a very personal level within our businesses. Seeing the high cost of healthcare, for example, our premiums have doubled for the staff that we offer healthcare to, and this is not because their health status has changed.
What do you think about that? Would you support a universal background check bill?
I think gun reform is very convoluted and very complicated, and unfortunately there's not going to be just one type of ban or one type of background check that's going to resolve and mitigate these awful atrocities that we've seen in recent times. Coming from a military family myself, my father's a Vietnam veteran, and so I grew up with firearm responsibility and understanding firearm safety. And for me, especially as a woman, I understand the need for self-defense, and I understand that a firearm is the quickest, most efficient way to equalize a dangerous situation. I've had 2 stalkers in my life, one of which broke into my townhouse that I lived in college, and I did what you're supposed to do, which is call the police. And after you go through an experience like that, you make a promise to yourself that you will never be a victim again. They never caught him. They lifted fingerprints, but he wasn't in the system. So if there's ever a chance that I'm attacked in my home again, sorry, they're getting a 45 to the face.
If you were to vote in Congress now, you'd be presented that bill, you wouldn't vote yes on it, it sounds like.
Not at this time.
The deficit under both Republican presidents and Democratic presidents has increased. It is huge now. The national debt is even huger. What do you think ought to be done about that? How do we stop the spending without affecting programs that will impact real people?
I think the way to curtail spending is to really examine where the funds are going, how they're being used, and where are some areas that the cost can be reduced without significantly impacting or affecting programs that we already have in place. It's ballooning, millions by the hour. And for me, I'm 34 years old. I plan to have family one day. That's in my future. And we really are mortgaging the future of our future generations because we're not keeping an eye on the budget now and we're not curtailing spending now.
You mentioned Congressman Horsford at the beginning, and some of the constituents that have been talking to you that said they didn't feel like they were well represented. Is there a particular vote or a particular issue that he's taken a stand on that you just absolutely disagree with and that you would have a completely different view on?
I think he's flip-flopped a bit in relation to health care and whether he supports Medicare for all or whether he doesn't, and now it's coming back to, now he's open to, some different ideas. I think what we're hearing from the voters especially is that they want representation that's actually engaged in the community, that's listening to them, and that they feel like they're actually represented. Many voters that we've talked to just said they haven't seen him, and that they feel like by not being engaged in the community, how can you possibly know what we as the voters and we as the constituency need and want from you?
Well, I also asked about a host of other topics, including immigration, Asian American Pacific Islander representation in Congress, or the lack thereof, and her involvement with the Republican Party. You can watch that full interview on our website at 8newsnow.com. Other Republican candidates in the race include former Assemblyman Jim Marchant. You can also see his interview on our website as well. Well, some Democrats going on the attack.
You said they would have to buy in.
Have to buy in. If she qualifies for Medicaid,
are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago?
Be in for it.
The highlights and big topics from last night's Democratic presidential debate. And Nevada Republicans are making their 2020 decision right now. How the party plans to avoid a contested caucus entirely. That's next.